All right. I need like 2 or 3 seconds to get into the mood.
1001.
I don't need you counting.
1002.
He's getting in the mood.
Here we go. Ready? All right. This is Ro from Realm Maintenance, and you're listening to Azeroth Roundtable.
He turned into an aggressive robot.
I'm kind of scared now.
He turned into an aggressive robot.
That was really
How
cool.
am I supposed to follow up Coltrane? Come on! You bring me on the show after Coltrane? How am I supposed to do any better with the intro? That was probably awful and horrible, but I mean, what am I supposed to do, guys?
You know what,
bring
that
me
is
on
fair.
the episode after Coltrane.
We probably should have had him record a generic intro. I mean, I guess he did. The one about dicks, but...
And there's the first bleep of the show. Great.
But
Why would I bleep that?
we could have
We're going to be saying it a lot later.
Yeah. Get ready. Buckle up, because we got a lot more action coming up.
Oh.
Welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 105. My name is Ben Bumhuffer, and with me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
Hi, Ben. I am here. Always. As always. I'm always here, except when I'm not, which is occasionally, and we'll talk about that later. But first, I'm going to kick it over to our guest today, Ro. Take it away.
John, thank you for having me on the show. I'm very happy and honored to be here. But first, we need to have a talk. And not you and I, John, actually, Ben.
Oh, okay. I'll see myself out for a moment.
Hi, Ro.
No,
Hey,
you may want to stand by here in case things get ugly.
Oh, no.
Ben,
Yes?
I need to ask, where did you find them, Ben? Where did they come from?
Well, when a mom and a dad love each other very much, Ro.
No. That's not
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I want to know how many people you got to push you over the top in the WoW Podcaster Tournament of Epicness. And I didn't even get into the Elite 8. And you know, I thought going into this thing, and now mind you, before I even go further, let me just say I don't really care that I won or lost. But I had
The fact that you have hijacked the beginning of the show to talk about it really sells.
Not that
you
I
don't care that much.
but I have to say that almost everyone that I've talked to said, like, oh my gosh, this is like the biggest upset ever, even bigger than like Lita beating Scott
thanks.
Johnson, which I think is actually a much bigger deal. But I'm where did it all come from?
Well, John and I weren't really going to be
I want to
talking
know
about
what
this
your
on the show
secret is
much.
because I need to steal it for next year.
Okay, then all I have to say is that you want Rem backing you. I'm blaming that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I heard that as long as you keep on going in this podcasting tournament thing, that he's doing a podcast every day or something.
Yes, he is.
I don't think I could do that. I don't know. I don't know if I could do a podcast every day. I have not listened to Rem do a daily podcast yet. I need to check this out.
Oh, they're
I
interesting.
just don't want to.
Wow, shots fired, John.
Yeah, so any success that I have, I'm blaming Rem. So
Okay, it
thank
is
you for
all
that.
Rem's fault. So
Hashtag blame Rem.
there you go.
Blame June.
But in all seriousness, I just wanted to say congratulations, and I hope that you can somehow take it all because the person you're going up against, not too easy to beat.
Oh, I know. That's what I've
You're
said
going against
every
the
single
person
round.
who everyone thinks is going to take it all.
Every single round I've said that, Ro. I don't think
Yep.
I'm going to win.
Yep.
So,
It's
Humble
it's
like
all
an
up to-
indie bundle.
Yeah.
and just as cheap. Wait.
Boom!
But no,
You got yourself.
I am happy to be here. I'm happy to do another show with you guys. It's always great to be on the show.
Well, fun fact, Ro. One of the reasons why we want you on the show this week is because We love your company. It's always fun having you on. You always have great points.
Except when we're in raid. Then you're like, man, that rogue guy's it.
Well, yeah, but that's something entirely different. Fun fact, about 2 years ago today, you were our second guest on Azeroth Roundtable.
Yeah.
Really?
So 2 years ago, you said, how am I supposed to do an intro after Coltrane? Or Coltrane.
Coltron?
Yeah, I thought he was a robot for a
Robot
second.
Coltrane?
Yes, it is.
Coltron. I like that.
Yeah, it's funny because John and I had talked about the idea of, trying to bring all of our guests in order that we did at the very beginning. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I thought
we did it
for the second episode, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, 2 times in a row.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is that, guys, stay tuned because next week Eludra is coming back. Yeah!
Possibly. In all honesty, I have no idea. I'm trying to figure out how I can get every single person who podcasts on this show. And I'm not talking about just World of Warcraft. I'm talking about every single podcast.
As Gary Oldman would say, everyone.
Exactly.
But he'd say it with a lot more intensity. He'd be yelling.
So I'm doing some research here because I need to know.
We
the
already know
schedule
it'd
for
be
next-
Scott Johnson.
It would be Eludra,
Eludra, then
followed
Scott
by
Johnson.
Scott Johnson, and then after Scott Johnson, it'd be Mike Gaines from World of Warcast.
Yep. Like I said,
But
I
that's
don't
not
think we're
gonna
going to actually follow
happen,
it. Because otherwise we've got 2 years of shows lined up, for the next 2 years, and we'll just repeat it over and over again, just same order. It was all a ruse.
Yeah, we're calling a do-over on that whole first year. Pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So
But,
what you're saying is you're doing the whole new 52 thing?
Nope.
No,
we're doing
because
the new 2.
we changed origin stories too.
Yeah.
This is the veering off point,
and this time, instead of wearing underwear, I'm going to wear pants or something, right?
Yeah.
So you're going commando. Okay, cool.
No. Well, yeah, basically, pretty much. It's like jeans and a shirt. Is that what Superman wears these days or something now? I don't know.
Chattiest Carrot in the chat room wants to know when Corey Stockton's coming back, and the answer is probably never because we asked them about tacos.
Oh.
Although he seemed to like the question.
Yeah,
Yes.
but we never heard from them.
He
again.
said Cool Ranch, right?
Our
No.
Blizzard phone
Cool Ranch
stopped
was his
ringing.
favorite Doritos Locos taco.
No, it was nachos. Nacho
Oh,
cheese.
it was nacho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Cool Ranch.
No. Anyways, Ro, what have you been up to?
Yes.
It's been a little while since you've been on the show.
It's been a little while. I'm making gold. I'm practically printing the stuff, which is very timely considering we have this little token thing coming up that we can talk about soon. But I've made 530,000 gold now in World of Warcraft. 430,000 of that since the first of the year.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are you selling
people ask
gnomes
me-
into slavery?
No. Yeah, you might notice if you're watching the video stream that I did not feel my face was camera ready tonight, so I have my Skype avatar, and it's pretty much the key to my success, the primary key, and that's Mr. Demedos there. Demedos is this Void Walker person in Shadowmoon Valley, and once a day you can fight him along with a few friends if you're feeling saucy. And he has a 15% chance, according to Wowhead, to drop a Servant of Demedos companion pet, which I have now sold. I've kept track a total of 16 times.
Wow.
For about 10,000 to 15,000 gold. I've been getting Demedos more often than 15%. For some reason, RNG is high with me on this thing. I wouldn't say I get him like every single day, but the last 3 days I have.
Good job.
So
Yeah,
you're an illicit pet trader now.
Pretty much, but I'm beginning to wonder, is the companion pet the Servant of Demedos, or am I the Servant of Demedos? I don't really know anymore.
Well, you are spreading his word.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm spreading pieces of himself all throughout Azeroth, and perhaps one day all the servants of Demedos will rise up and take over their masters. And I mean, who cares about Gul'dan, right?
Yeah, I have a wonderful 50% drop rate on that. I fought him twice, got the pet the first time.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
What I like about that story is that you got what you wanted and you didn't give up. You went right back.
That's the secret of life, John. Secret of life.
Okay.
What else have you been doing?
Besides that, been achievement hunting. I'm constantly neck and neck with this one warlock in the subguild of AIE that I'm in, named Synthetic. The AIE subguild's Audacia. This warlock named Synthetic or Synthetica or something like that. We are in a neck and neck race to be the leader in the subguild for achievement points, and I think right now I'm at 17,625, and he's at 17,635, which means this week I need to get a few more achievements to pass him up again. But we've been going back and forth like that. And besides that, keeping my interest, I've been playing stuff outside of WoW, like Heroes and Hearthstone. Loving playing Jaina Proudmoore in Heroes. That's like my new favorite character right now. And I wasn't loving Assassins for the majority of Heroes of the Storm, but with Jaina, I think I finally found the assassin I like to play.
So you prefer mages now to warlocks?
In Heroes of the Storm, there is no warlock option, so I have to say yes in the Heroes of the Storm.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's like, where's that going, Ben?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've got no commentary to offer. Beyond the sound of a balloon losing air.
But that's been pretty much me. John, how about you, man? What have you been up to? Because I have to say, before we go any further, I know you're up to something. Because last night, Ben and I were in Highmall.
Mm-hmm. And I
you
wasn't.
were not.
Yeah, I was not in Highmall.
Nope. What were you doing?
I was busy using our Twitch channel to broadcast me playing PlayStation 4. When it comes to ditching out on your raid team, there are a couple ways you can do it. And there are some ways that are a little bit more blatant than what I did. So let me first break down the more blatant ways that I could have gone with and opted not to. I could have been logged into WoW and just not come. That's pretty blatant.
Yeah.
I could have been logged into Heroes of the Storm or another fantastic Blizzard game, so I appeared on all your friends lists and didn't come.
Yes.
Instead, I opted to play a completely different game off Battle.net, away from my computer, right over there. I pointed for those of you on the audio version. Sorry. And stream it to our World of Warcraft Twitch channel.
Yep.
Sounds legit. Which game were you playing?
Bloodborne. It's a new game on PlayStation 4. It's fantastic.
It is getting all the hype.
It deserves all the hype because it is from the same lineage of games like Dark Souls and Demon Souls, and I'm a huge fan of those games. That was the first night that I had to really dive into it and play it, and that's what I felt like doing. So that's what I decided to do. But that actually brings me into what I would like to use my what have I been up to in WoW time for. Because I am going to issue a challenge. If there's one thing I've learned from doing this show, it is that people love to tell me what's going on with my WoW playtime. Whether it's I'm playing wrong, I'm playing right, maybe I would enjoy the game more if I did X or Y. So everybody who's a backseat WoW player, and even those of you who don't, I have a fun little challenge for you. I want you all to tell me why I don't like raiding anymore. Because I will tell you that from this show, I think most people would understand that during Siege of Orgrimmar, I was having a good time in Siege. I was enjoying it. I was not super excited about Warlords of Draenor, but the thing that I kept saying was, well, at least raiding will still be there, because I was still enjoying raiding in WoW. So now here we are. Warlords of Draenor is out. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it, at least the leveling bits. And now here we are at endgame, and I'm having a really hard time finding the motivation to get in and raid with everybody. And I'll throw out a couple theories, and then I want, we can have you all send in your thoughts and opinions.
Well, first off, I gotta say, Chief Vol'jin's theory, raiding doesn't have enough Spider-Man.
We'll put that up as an option, Chief Vol'jin. I think that might be it. There is not enough Spider-Man in raiding. So here we go. Reasons to not raid. I think one of the most obvious reasons is Highmaul may be a bad raid. Possible. I haven't had as much fun in it, so I think that's a possibility. Does it have to do with changes with our raid team? Our raid team has definitely grown. There are some people there that weren't there before, but at the same time, there were some people who I've really missed from our raid team that have come back and been far more prominent in there. I don't think there's anybody that I dislike on the raid team. I seem to enjoy everybody's company, except maybe the two people I'm talking to right now. One's a little long-winded and one's kind of bossy. So
that could actually be either of us.
So, but it's possible. It could have to do with dynamic changes, because we've had nights where we've hit 30 people in the raid before. We definitely are raiding on average, at least while I was there, with more people than usual. And when you get into larger groups, it means a lot of that social aspect kind of dwindles a little bit, because you have to be a little bit more serious with that many people. So that's a possibility. Another possibility, I'm just not into WoW. You can go ahead and tell me how into WoW I am. So throw that out there. Another possibility is that they ruined the monk class. I don't know. Now I'm just trying to think of random ideas. Maybe the monk class is just bad. That's definitely a possibility. So monks, maybe you can tell me, hey, I'm a monk. I also think raiding is bad right now, and I think it's because we're monks. Or any other number of reasons. So
I have one you haven't mentioned yet.
Okay, Ro, what do you think might be my reason why I don't like raiding anymore?
It's kind of related to Highmaul is a bad raid, but
okay.
I'll change it to raiding is not as fun anymore. And by that, I mean, with Siege of Orgrimmar, with Mists of Pandaria raiding, there were mechanics and stuff that you had to follow through on all the fights and stuff. But one thing I've noticed with Highmaul and with Blackrock Foundry is that there are far more encounters where personal responsibility is emphasized degrees higher than it was in previous tiers.
Yeah.
And it's a thing where you can have 20 to 30 people, and we have a range of play skill going from one end of the spectrum to another in our raid group. I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah.
And we want the team as a whole to succeed. That said, for different encounters, it can be different people depending on what the situation is. You can have 2 or 3 people missing a mechanic, not following a mechanic appropriately, and it has a snowball effect more so now than ever, where it impacts the raid as a whole and our performance as a whole. And the way our raid is designed, guys, since our raid is relatively casual and stuff, we do not want to bench people. We do not want to sit people. That is not FERT's philosophy of how things are done. And I am fine with that. I'm totally okay with that. That said, though, because these fights now require a lot more personal responsibility, it may be that you're finding enjoyment because you feel that some things are beyond your control now?
That could be. That's a good theory. I will throw out a couple more that I saw in the chat room that I really like.
Well, hold on. I want to explore this a little bit, actually.
Okay.
So last night after raid, Tetsemi and Alakaz and we had our, raid leader meeting, which we do at times. And Tetsemi brought up the point that's essentially exactly what you're saying, Ro. But even more so is the fact that because all of these fights are about personal responsibility, you can't outgear them. So
right.
If you remember back when we were running Siege of Orgrimmar, we were doing pretty good for the most part, but then we started kind of hitting walls here and there, and then we'd finally beat something and then hit another wall further on. We didn't actually beat Gary until they added the extra 2-level item boost. So, when everybody was at 4 of 4 for that, we were able to outgear so that, those mechanics that, we weren't especially good at, we weren't dying right away because of that extra little bit of item level. Over time, yeah, we got the dance down on Gary to the point where, we were skipping whole phases because we were just destroying him so fast and, taking less damage and everything like that. Unfortunately, because of how high Mal is, our item level, because of, how heroics are, we're not going to outgear using heroic gear. When we go into Blackrock on Sunday, it's going to be new dances that we have to learn. Luckily, the first few bosses are going to be easier to do than Imperator, and once we have gear from them, we might be able to kill Imperator. It's just kind of how it is, and because of that, I find myself actually frustrated, when we finish a raid. And, okay, so for people who aren't in our raid group, which is, like a couple people who listen, back in Siege of Orgrimmar, essentially, I was the person who would call out almost everything that was going on. So, I was Frost. It's a really simple rotation. It's like, oh, there's a weapon. Oh, there's this. Move this way. Go over there. Now there's so much going on and so many mechanics in every single fight, I can't keep track of everything, do my rotation, and still live by avoiding all that stuff as well. So, I'm not saying that the raid is successful just because I call stuff out. That's, not even the case. But I feel that it's at the point where there's so much going on that it is a detriment to people who are a casual group like ourselves. And so even if I'm perfect and on top of my game and, I'll look at the infographic for Ask Mr. Robot, I see avoidable damage. Yeah, I'm green. This is great. But even if I'm doing great, there is no way that I can help someone else out of that situation. And it's probably the most frustrated I've been with raiding since back when we had to fight the attendance boss before flexible raids and everything, or even the beginning of Pandaria.
Sure. So
I was just going to say, I am glad to hear that, it's not just me, that there are other people noticing this little trend. I tend to be, a little easier because I have a very strong philosophy of this as a game. I play it to have fun. If I'm not having fun, then what am I doing playing this game? So if I'm frustrated or not happy with the experience, it's very easy for me to just say, well, then I'm not going to do it. Especially in the realm of flex mode where it's not people are depending on me. I think back in the day of Burning Crusade and stuff like that, I probably would have had more of an emphasis to even though I don't like it, I better go because, I have a slot. They need me. Now with flexible raid, it's it's probably going to take more damage off the boss by me not being there than if I was actually there. So whatever.
Although I would, you tend to be near the upper portion of our DPS, I think, aren't you?
Well, and that's true. It's not that I'm actually a detriment or anything. At least I don't think so. But it is one of those things where I have noticed that this expansion that I'm just not feeling it like I was. And we did Siege of Orgrimmar for a year, and I was somehow way more into it for that year than I have been the couple months that we've been doing raiding for this team.
Well,
and so
even during that time, you actually stopped your WoW subscription for about a month, and then came right back in because you missed running with us. And it had to do with, okay, the raid's not that bad. We're having fun. We're progressing. And, it was a lot more fun. And I honestly think that it's actually the raid encounters themselves because, yeah, we have a couple more people. Yeah, we have, maybe one or two less than we did. But it's still essentially the same makeup. But I think that we're all hitting that same sort of frustration.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I would like to hear... not necessarily the joke was, hey, everybody tell me why I don't like raiding, but the real genuine interest here is I am curious, what are your thoughts as listeners to this show on raiding? Do you feel like it has been better this expansion so far? Are you liking the raid? Do you feel like it's too hard, too easy, balanced in a wrong way? Do you think the gear's not good enough? Do you think the story's not compelling enough? I'm just curious. I'm curious to find out, what other people think about the raid, because all I can talk about is my personal experience, which has been that when it comes time to raid, I'm more often than not going, ugh, I just don't feel like it tonight. I would rather get these same people and take them into a different game and play a different game than do the raid.
Okay, you brought up one more thing that I want to address. When we were running Siege of Orgrimmar, it made sense why. I have no idea why we're going to Heimal. No idea. Other than, hey, there's ogres in there, let's kill them.
Yeah, and the stories for the early raids are always really bad. I wish Blizzard would come up with a bit more compelling reasons for us to do them.
Blackrock Foundry makes a little more sense. I mean, it's
there's a
the
warlord
weapons
in there.
Manufacturing place for the Iron Horde.
And there's a warlord. Yeah. Warlords of Draenor.
There was a warlord in Heimal.
Yeah, he's the first boss. If he was the last boss, it would make more sense to me. But he's just like, I'll fight you guys. Bleh. Who cares? Yeah. So anyways.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, what are your thoughts on raiding? And maybe when I'm not playing WoW next week, I can talk about what you all sent in for responses. To be fair, I have played a little WoW before people start saying like, oh, he dropped WoW again. I am still playing WoW. I'm just not playing it as much, and I'm not raiding. So
gotcha. So what have I been doing?
Ben, hi.
Hi.
Hey, Ben. First of all, how are you?
Doing good. Doing good.
That's good. You having a good show so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've had some compelling dialogue so far.
That's cool. Ben, while I was sitting here, I just thought, hey... what have you been up to? Because Ro and I said what we were doing, but you're on this show too. You're a person. Why don't we find out what you're up to?
I've been playing a little bit of WoW.
Okay, good.
It's a good start, right?
Yeah.
So I was raiding last night. Yay.
You got a leg up on me then, man.
Hey, I was there too.
Oh, yeah. You were. I can confirm that. Okay.
He also was in my live stream while I was playing Bloodborne, so Ben was all over the place.
Yeah, during our break I stopped in and I'm like, oh, we are streaming. Huh. But were you with us on Sunday when we did the LFR Blackrock?
No.
Okay. That was a lot more fun that we've had in Raid in a while, I'd have to say. Like, a lot of fun. We did 2 Wings of Blackrock, went in there. I think we had like 1 wipe, maybe? I don't remember exactly. And then we had an absolute, like, amazing kill on Hansy guy, whoever he is. So
yeah, Hansy.
Yeah, Hansy. It ended up, both our tanks were dead, and there's like 13% health left. And I don't know, some Shadow Priest was tanking, which was amazing.
I thought Brian was tanking.
Well, it seemed like threat was on the Shadow Priest most of the time for me, from what I could see.
Okay.
But I know that Brian was alive, Eludra was alive, Sasori was alive, I was alive. I don't remember who else, so I'm sorry, everybody who was alive. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But, like, it was essentially Clothies and a healer, and then Brian. And we killed Hansy. It was awesome. So, yay. What was great was that half the raid was like, just wipe, but no, we killed him. But anyways, so that was a lot of fun. And I'm actually looking forward to going into Blackrock on Sunday because I think that it'll be something new, at least, to, bash our heads against. So it could be a lot more fun. I mean, entirely different dance. We have to worry about, again, personal responsibility, but at least it's different. And it's not going to be one boss that's, the fight's 15 minutes long. So if we do die, at least we can get right back in there and it won't be a whole ton of time wasted. So I'm looking forward to that.
For those who can't speak Beninese, Hansi is Kromog.
Hansi. Yeah.
Hansi is also a better name.
Yeah.
It is.
Thank you.
I'll remember a boss named Hansi. I had to look in the chat room to remember Kromog, and you just said it, Ro.
But after raid last night, and again, you've heard what's been going on with raiding through John, through me. I'm kind of having a dilemma, and it's tough. And this is going to be blasphemous, and I'm sorry to everybody who is going to scream. So just a warning, this might shock you.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Cue the dramatic music.
I'm actually considering maybe raiding with a different class.
What?
Maybe. I might switch specs again to Frost to see if I actually like that better. It's one of those things that I'm not feeling it on the mage. I'm not saying that I have to be at the top of the DPS. That's not it at all. I want to feel like I'm contributing. And I'm having a really hard time doing that on my mage. I mean, we've got a lot of DPS. We have all different levels, and that's fine. But it's just not the same. I don't know if it's just because I don't like Arcane, because I really don't like Arcane. So that's why I'm thinking about switching. But I don't know.
The chat room is exploding, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, Ben. Yes, kill Team Wolf Mage with your words.
But I like Team
And
Wolf Mage.
Ben, what class are you considering replacing your mage with?
Well, there's a couple, and here's the reasoning. The reason why we did the LFR last week is because we didn't have enough healers. So I thought maybe I should roll a healer to help out. But I don't have a whole ton of healing experience, and I didn't really want to do that. I thought maybe I should roll a tank because we have, one of our main tanks just had a baby. So while he's still making it to raid, there are times where, baby's more important. One of our off tanks just had a baby, and, while he's still making it to raid, baby's more important. So we might have an instance where we need a tank as well. So one of my first thoughts...
tanks.
Yes. One of my first thoughts was, okay, well, I could switch to a tank, maybe, be a paladin, because, I've got Lactose, and she's awesome. And I thought, if I switch to healer, I've got a priest that I could do, but I have a monk as well.
Now, yeah, you do!
I haven't healed on my monk at all. I haven't tanked on my monk, but if I were to, do something like that, I would probably, I'm leaning towards, if I do it, which is a really small if, really small, probably going tank heals on a monk, just so that I could, swap back and forth. But again, that is very slim that that's going to happen. But I'm just really not feeling the mage right now. And I love that class. I started playing that game because of the mage. And, I mean, John, you know how I got into WoW. How I wanted to play a Blood Elf mage. I thought that was a really cool idea. RP-wise, it was awesome. And the trial edition, I wasn't able to buy the game right away. So I was a druid for a little bit. And then the next day you got me the actual game so I can make my mage, because you're like, why would you play a character that you don't want? I'm like, perfect. That's what I've been since the very beginning. And the fact that I'm even waffling on this is telling me that something is going on, that I'm not enjoying magery, or at least maybe it's raiding, I don't know, as much as I used to.
Well, it could be that you have once again just found the answer. The answer has been before you for all this time that there is a greatest class in WoW. It's called the Monk. It is the correct answer to the question. And you are finally starting to see it. You have experienced enough of time with your monk to where you don't fully know, but you can feel that pull that something's off, that there's something greater out there, and there is. And it's called the monk.
It's not even that. It's just I feel so underpowered.
Well, let me tell you about a monk. Ben, how would you like the ability to roll?
I can blink. That's fine.
No, I didn't say how would you like the ability to blink. Blinking is for people that are wrong. How would you like to roll?
So, other than that little quandary that I'm kind of going through, I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect, as I've said before. And I'm on Mass Effect 3, and I'm still totally loving the experience. In fact, John, you said that you started playing again. Are you actually still playing again?
Mass Effect?
Yeah.
No, I just stole my parents' Xbox 360 so I could play again.
Okay, cool. Well,
it hasn't happened yet.
In that case, either when I finish or after John finishes as well, we are going to have a sit down and talk about Mass Effect. I mean, we both played it before, but kind of different, viewpoint and perception and experience and everything going through it this time. So we're going to talk about that.
The first episode of Citadel Roundtable.
Oh, it'll be some. We'll have some fun content. I think this is a good spot to go ahead and plug our YouTube channel. We've just gotten through all of what we've been up to. So I'm going to go ahead and just remind everybody that we are trying to make our YouTube channel far more interesting. That's youtube.com/AzerothRT. Not only can you see the visual version of our shows, but if we get to 100 subscribers, we are going to start including the pre- and post-show on those uploads as well. If you want a preview of what that looks like, you can check out episode 104 with Coltrane, where we happily decided to go ahead and include that content anyway. You can also see me playing Bloodborne instead of raiding, which is up there.
Our Heroes of the Storm
John
matches.
plays hooky. That should just be the name of the series. Anytime you skip raiding, you should stream whatever you're playing, and it should be John plays hooky.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. So that is up there. When Ben and I talk Mass Effect, that will definitely be going up there as well. So it is a good way to kind of see the additional content that we either talk about on the show or will occasionally allude to. We will usually post the Heroes of the Storm games that we play after the show up there. So go ahead and check it out.
Yeah.
How was that? Was that a good plug, Ben?
Surprisingly good. It was like semi-professional even.
I know. It was like I knew what I was doing. It was shocking.
Yeah. So other than that, let's go ahead and take a look at the news because, you don't want to hear about us anymore. News! There's a whole lot of news in here that I didn't add, so someone else gets to start it.
Well, okay, so honestly, there wasn't really a whole lot of WoW news. Do you want to start with the WoW news first or last?
Yes.
Okay, so the short version, because I know not a whole lot of you necessarily care about games that aren't World of Warcraft, but hey, these have Warcraft characters, so it kind of is Azeroth-y related.
I care about games that aren't World of Warcraft a lot.
Well, I'm glad you do, Ben.
I'm John. Hello.
John. Man, I've had a long day. Awesome. Wow, I think that's the first time I've mixed up you and Ben. Anyhow, Blackrock Mountain, a Hearthstone adventure, comes out on April 2nd, not on April 1st, because then it might have been perceived as a big joke. So if you care about Hearthstone, April 2nd, you have until then to pre-order, and the final card reveal of all the other cards that they haven't shown yet that are going to be in this thing, apparently that's going to happen on Monday in a Twitch live stream.
Man, Hearthstone is so weird to me, because I like Hearthstone. I'm not like Ben, I don't actively hate it.
Nope.
But I don't play a lot of it, and I don't follow it. And I'm not super hyped on it. I certainly don't do that. So the notion of them doing a live stream to reveal a card is absolutely a foreign concept to me. I
Right.
think it's cool. I'm happy we live in a world where it's a thing. But I hear it and I'm just like, they're putting on a live stream to what? To show you a card?
It's like there's 12 or so cards that they haven't revealed yet. So yeah, they're going to show all the ones they haven't shown yet, which is like somewhere between 12 and 15. But still, I still get what you're saying.
This is a final cards reveal. It's plural.
Sure, cards, plural. Grammar bad, row bad.
I thought there was just one card. I thought they were going to be like, thank you for coming to our live stream.
That would be awesome if it was just for one card. Like, say, if they do the reveal tomorrow of all the other cards except one, and then have a live stream for that.
The final card is a pool of lava. Pool of lava.
That was going to be Chris Metzen.
Nope. Pool of lava.
Awesome. What does it do, John?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
What does Pool of Lava do? I really want to know.
It sits there. It's hot. You can cook over it.
You can use it as a cooking fire?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It costs nothing to summon.
But you know what I bet you care about even more than the Pool of Lava?
A lot?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
But even more specifically...
Hold on. Okay, here's the preview of the live stream.
Okay,
so
awesome.
Here's a card.
Yep.
Does stuff.
Great.
Wow.
This
Yep,
one
I
is
can confirm
Shadows
that's a card.
from Beyond.
I'm
Yep.
totally seeing
There
that
it is.
backwards.
Okay, now there's this one, Blade Strike.
Okay, cool.
It does stuff.
Great. Awesome.
Okay, and then Totem from Beyond.
You know, Hearthstone
does
is
You
stuff.
an
see, you go to
insanely
the live stream
popular.
for the Twitch chat.
You know, it's an insanely popular game, right, Ben? And you're right now making fun of a lot of people.
No, I'm
Millions.
just making fun of my imagination of how great it'll be just show card. And I know that's not even close to what it's going to be. I know that there are a whole lot of Hearthstone people out there, and that's cool, and I'm happy for them. I was just going off of what John said. I thought it was funny.
Then why do you hate people who like card games?
I don't.
Mm-hmm. I have friends who like card games.
Okay, Spider-Man.
I'm one of those
Or J.
friends, I'd like
Jonah.
to think. But John, does Mecha Tassadog sound more appealing to you? Because I heard that became a bigger thing this past week too.
That did. Let's talk about the exciting news. Heroes of the Storm was updated, bro.
Yeah!
Yeah.
In addition to adding Sylvanas to the game,
Woo.
which is a great addition. I actually really like Sylvanas, although her ultimate abilities suck.
Oh, the second one where she gets to take control of. No.
Yeah, one single minion.
Which will die in
It's
2
a
seconds.
merc. It can be a merc only if she's at level 20.
I saw that and I
That's
was
a
just
waste.
like, what is going on with this ability? I thought I'd be able to control like Zagara's Mutalisks and like all sorts of stuff. Like, I was like, oh, this will be cool. Nope. One little shitty minion that usually has all the other minions immediately turn on it and go, oh, look, a bad guy, and kill him.
But hey, it's 20% stronger, John. 20%.
Yeah, he dies pretty quick. Every time. Every time he is gone. And then the other thing where she just shoots a big arrow thing that I guess silences people, that seems okay. I know the cooldown is fairly short for that ability because the chat room is pointing that out. So yeah, you can do it somewhat frequently, but there is a mana cost to it. She's not exactly got a ton of ways to easily regenerate mana. So I don't know. I'm not a fan with her ultimate abilities. I obviously will make use of them while I'm playing as her, but I don't think they're great. I think they could use a little work. But anyway, she's cool still, despite it. And yes, let's talk about Mecha Tassadog. Because as you all know, I belong to the Church of Tassadog. He is the main character for Heroes of the Storm. Even though I have played as some others, he is the primary character, and he can now turn into a giant robot, and that giant robot can now turn into an airplane.
It's pretty
He
impressive.
also says, we're canceling the apocalypse.
Okay, that's cool.
I
That's really
know,
cool.
right?
Doesn't he have a line where you play him? I played just because I had to see what he was all about. I did like the try mode for specifically the Mecha Tassadog skin, and he says something to the effect of like, "Be sure to return me with a full tank of fuel," or something like
I
that.
haven't noticed that one yet,
Yep.
but yeah, he does have custom lines to go along with his mechanist.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That is so awesome.
So he's pretty great. By the way, if you want the ability to turn into a jet, you do have to select it from the mount tab. Just
Oh.
an FYI. When
I was wondering about that because when I did the thing on try mode and I tried to mount, he would be on his horse, and I'm like,
Mecha Tassadog doesn't
Mecha
ride a horse.
Tassadog. Yeah.
Yeah, I got in there and I was on a cybernetic wolf, which granted, still very cool, but not quite as cool as it could be because it is not turning into a plane. So, yes, you do have to select his jet mode as a mount, and life is good.
Well, now I know.
Heroes looks great. The changes and all that look really good. I'm really excited about it. We will be playing more tonight. So if you check out our channel on YouTube, you'll be able to see Mecha Tassadog. Oh, man, I am plugging away at things tonight.
Apparently.
This is dangerous. Somebody should sponsor us quick, because I'm a promotion machine.
Last but not least, I mean, it's in the notes, so I better read it. WoW 6.1.2 is live! There wasn't a whole lot of extras that we're putting on that patch, but the token is coming soon for $20.
For $20.
So more expensive.
People are talking about that price.
People are talking about it, and I look at it and I go, that is whatever. Who cares? Who cares?
Well, you knew it had to be at least 15. $5 more makes sense. What's the point? Why is it a big deal?
Yeah, Ro, tell me why I should care, because I really don't care.
Honestly, John, I don't know why you should care. When this whole thing was going on, people pointed out to me, well, it's probably going to cost $20 because this sounds exactly like what WildStar does with their thing, and WildStar charges $20. So when I saw $20, I wasn't shocked by this price tag at all. Yet there are some people that are all up in arms about this, or people wondering, oh, is the subscription cost going to go up $5 now? Or well, why is Blizzard trying to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's not a big deal. I mean, honestly, the whole point of the WoW token system is to provide a safe, non-third-party way for people to potentially spend money to get gold in game or to use gold to buy game time, right?
Right.
So if you're going to spend money to get gold and do so knowing that you won't have to worry about account information being stolen and all that stuff, then paying a few dollars for a premium for that, whatever. That's there you go. And if you want to take the risk of buying gold through third-party companies, well, and violating terms of service, well, more power to you. I won't.
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't do it. It's like going up to somebody and being like, man, getting punched in the face sucks.
Right?
I hate getting punched in the face. And then continuing to go and pick fights with people. Just don't do it. If you don't like the idea of paying $20 for some gold, don't pay $20 for some gold.
Well, once they find out what the actual gold price is going to be, then they'll complain about that too.
Oh, that's going to be interesting because Blizzard, when this thing goes live, and it's going to go live in the American region first, Blizzard sets the initial price, and then from there, they said supply and demand is going to take over from there based on how many keys are available and how many people are buying keys, blah, blah, blah. I'm really interested to see how much Blizzard thinks that thing should start at.
5 gold.
Man, that'd be good.
As someone who has right now 530,000 gold in my bank box, I'm really interested. If Blizzard, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I hope that I'm actually home when Blizzard turns that on, because if the prices say 10K or 20K, you better believe I'm buying 5 or 6 tokens and using them.
Yeah, if it's 10K,
why wouldn't you?
I could get a nice 6 months worth of WoW. Then I'd be broke, but hey, I can play the entire time and get the gold back.
Yeah, you've got that much time to earn more time. It's a really great method. I mean, if you want to participate, go for it. Chief Vol'jin in the chat saying 100,000 gold to start. That's not a bad bet. Neither is the 50K that followed it. We don't know. We'll find out.
It won't be any lower than 50K in all honesty.
I doubt it.
If it's lower than 50K to start, I will be shocked.
So we'll see what it is. And guess what? It's not the end of the world. If you don't like the price that ultimately comes out, you can continue to spend $15 a month to play the game, and you can earn gold however you want.
Yep, like selling Servants of Demidos or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to do that, go for it.
Yeah, don't do that though, because that's a horrible way to make money. No one would do that because it's a bad idea.
No,
it's
no,
morally wrong. So
I've got a really quick question for you guys. Now, aside from that token business and stuff, in all honesty, it was a pretty dead week for WoW news, right? Mm-hmm. So, with that in mind, I have to ask you guys, how confident do you feel that we will learn something about 6.2, say, in the next 2 weeks?
In the next 2 weeks, I think we're going to learn a lot on April 1st.
I expect big reveals on April 1st, probably.
Oh, yeah. Huge
Definitely.
reveals on April 1st.
On almost every game.
People have been asking me if I'm going to do an April 1st episode of Realm Maintenance because I did one for the past 2 years. All I can say is wait and see.
Would this technically be our April 1st, our opportunity for an April 1st? No, I guess it's midweek next week, so it could go either way.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything, folks.
Yeah. I'm not actually going to, possibly think about changing my main. Got you all.
April Fools!
It was a joke all along.
Oh, man. Woo. That was fun. That was
Close
fun.
call.
All right. Let's take a seat.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do anything for April Fools.
I don't think that they're going to be doing much. Because wasn't last year just StarCraft?
No, they did a bunch of stuff last year.
I don't remember them doing any WoW things, though.
For what they did last year.
Oh, that's right. The Draenei stuff. Forgot about
Last year they didn't do much with WoW except for the Draenei thing. And I think that's because wasn't there a patch coming out close to that time? And they didn't want to do too much.
I think so.
You know what? I say this every year. And one year it's going to happen. They're going to reveal something on April 1st, and then they're going to do it. But I think they've proven that that's not going to be the case, because this would have been the perfect time with the Hearthstone thing, where they could have been like, and it's releasing today! Like, they could have said something real crazy and then actually done it, which I always think is funny and cool. But I don't think they'll ever do it.
Well,
but
John,
I would love to see something cool.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't Pandaren an April Fool's Day joke?
Yes. Well, I mean, they were in Warcraft 3, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't think they were ever listed as
Pandaren were used as a subject matter of a WoW April Fool's thing very early on, yes.
They were part of the parody of Slash Pizza from EverQuest. But it was, the idea was that they were teamed up with Panda Express. So it was Pandaren Express.
Yes.
So that was in there, but them being a race was never a April Fool's Day joke.
Well, never mind.
Sorry, Ben. Sorry to rain on that parade you had going. It was real nice looking, but I said nope and rained all over it.
Yep, and I even said it before I even looked at the chat room, and Chief Vol'jin said the same thing. So, John?
Sorry, Chief Vol'jin. That was a real nice parade you had going on.
Hey,
but,
don't mock that man. He's building a lazy river in Orgrimmar.
All right. Sorry, Chief.
All right.
Keep on building.
Let's take a seat at the round table.
Shut it! Round table.
And welcome to the Roundtable, where we discuss in depth the issues that mean the most to us, the players. This week's Roundtable topic is all about exploration. So, earlier in the week, I saw something from, I think, the Blizzard Watch Twitter, and it was all about, holy crap, you can get to Draenor without going through the intro. I'm like, really? What's up with that? John, I just talked to you about this, right before the show. Ro, I think that you know about it. But
Yeah, I read it.
yeah, for people who don't know, there's this cave underneath where all the frogs are on the Timeless Isle. It's underwater, and there's 4 seats there, and there's a little campfire. If you sit down in that chair, the campfire becomes clickable. If you right-click on that, you're teleported to this island off the coast of Gorgrond in Draenor. That's awesome. Simple as that. That's awesome. And it's funny because I found that cave before Draenor was even, around. I'm like, what the hell is up with this? I mean, there's all these sand piles in a heart shape around the fire and the chairs. So I'm like, okay, cool. Timeless coins. What's up with this? No idea. Never even thought about going back or trying anything else with it. So when I read that...
Wouldn't it have been great if it took you to Draenor before Warlords launched?
Oh, that would have been great.
But
Just
the
dropped
water
you
could
in the
have
middle
been
of,
full of like piranha or something like that, so there'd be no way to actually go anywhere except that small piece of island.
You
Dropped
die.
you right in the middle of the Iron Horde. They just instantly kill you.
Right.
Yeah, because they're all level 100 and you're level 90. Makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so if you're tired of doing that intro, thing with Khadgar and all that, you can just do that instead. It helps if you have a water walking mount. You just, teleport there, you hop down in the water, go around the coast to where the iron docks should be, and then you'll have a dude there that'll teleport you to your garrison, which isn't there yet, and then you have to run along the trail to where the quest starts to, get the garrison. But this got me thinking. Stuff like this is just kind of peppered throughout all of World of Warcraft, and it's one of the really awesome little touches and stuff that I really have come to enjoy in the game a whole lot. Whether it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the sewer of Dalaran, just a little touch. I mean, or the hatch in Sholazar Basin. Of course, those are the 2 things that I think of because they're the 2 things that are my favorite that I can only remember right now. But is this something that benefits the whole gaming population if it's required, or it's, I don't even know how to say it. Does this promote exploration? Is it a bonus to the actual leveling experience and everything? And what are some of the things that help push people out there into the world? I know I just threw 20 darts and hopefully one of them hit. Someone else talk.
Well,
So-
it's interesting that you bring up the whole thing with exploration and having us get out into the world, right? Because one of the common things that I hear people talking about with Warlords of Draenor is, I'm in my garrison all the time doing this, that, and the other thing. When we were leveling and going through all the different zones and such, there were all these little hidden treasures and knickknacks and stuff that we would go collect garrison resources from, or hey, kill this rare and end up getting some sort of vanity item or this piece of loot that got a bonus upgrade to epic, which was awesome. And there were a lot of cool moments like that for me when I was leveling. The problem is it doesn't feel like there's that same motivation at endgame to really have you go out in the world. Now, you could say, well, yes, there are the Apexis dailies, but it just isn't exactly the same because the Apexis dailies don't really deal... There aren't too many hidden secrets and things to find in the Apexis daily zones. Those are basically there for killing level 100 creatures and getting your daily done and doing your Apexis crystals and such. So, yeah, it's kind of an odd duality that the game has where the exploration is a really big thing when you're leveling, but I just kind of lost that motivation when I hit level 100. I know there's a whole ton of little knickknacks and stuff that I haven't found in game yet. A lot of them in the Grand. I know John would probably agree with me there. I wish I had more motivation to explore at 100, and I'm not really sure why I don't.
John, I know that while you were leveling, you were all into exploring and getting the little treasures here and there and everything. Is this something that you think that Draenor has actually succeeded in versus previous expansions?
I don't think it's been great, but I think it's a cool idea, maybe poorly executed. So, hearing about this campfire thing, this is cool. This is the kind of thing that I really dig. It makes the world feel more interesting because suddenly it opens up the unexpected. And one of the things that I've said a lot on here is I think WoW needs a lot more unexpected. It is very much a game where you know what to expect at all times as you're going through the game. And this is the kind of thing, if somebody stumbles upon it, it's like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. But I also don't have enough faith that there's a ton of these things in the game. So one part of me hears it and thinks, man, that makes the world sound so much more exciting. That's really cool. I want to get out there and find the next cool thing. But I'm also realistic enough in my thinking to think there's probably not a lot out there, if anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, even this didn't work until after Draenor was out. So that's where it gets a little iffy for me. But this kind of stuff I love. And to kind of take it back to, a game I'm playing right now, Bloodborne or Dark Souls and all of that, one of the things that the reason I play those games is because they present a lot of unexpected to you, and they're challenging. They don't feel the need to hold your hand and say, okay, the boss is going to spawn here, or hey, here's where you can find this treasure, or hey, here's where this is. It just says, go out there and figure this out on your own. And sometimes that's a terrifying prospect, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're rewarded for crazy, difficult things you do, sometimes you're not. And it's one of those things that makes that game rewarding. Earlier today, playing that game, there was a monster that was killing me in one hit every time I fought him. And I just decided to randomly pick a fight with him again. I managed to beat him. I felt really cool. I'm like, all right, what did he drop? Nothing interesting. I'm like, all right, well, what was he guarding? And I go over there. Nothing over there. It was the most trolly thing I've ever seen the game do. Like, here's this guy that's really tough. Oh, man, they must have some really cool secret over there. Nope, nothing. But I liked it because you didn't know. And, occasionally they will throw something at you where you'll look down. I was looking down at a pool of water. There were all these giant monster-looking things in the water. I was like, that's obviously a trap. Oh, and a shining item right in the middle of it, of course. So, I jumped down there and got in a fight, and I was nervous about it. I was actually scared to go down there and find out what happens when I grab this item. I was really tense about it. And I don't feel like you ever get those moments with WoW. I feel like everything is a real safe, known quantity. And I'm not saying I think WoW needs to be like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or anything like that. They are different games. But having something like this campfire where it's like, hey, if you meet these conditions, something crazy cool happens, that is really neat to me, and that I really like. And I feel like if they did it more, I would feel compelled to get in the game more often to see if I can discover something cool, as opposed to something where it's just like, oh, this will pop up as an icon on your screen, go do it, check it out.
There's one thing which was added in in 6.1, which doesn't show up on your mini-map, and it received a lot of talk because right up until the end of PTR, people didn't know where to get this purple Void Talon mount. It became discovered early into it being on live that you got the Void Talon mount by finding this portal, which would appear in the level 100 Apexis areas randomly for short periods of time. And all you had to do was click on the portal while it was up. You'd go into this one-player scenario where you'd find the thing to click on, and you get your mount. Today, this morning, when I was doing an Apexis Daily, it was the Pillars of Fate. I saw a portal about 200 yards away. I knew what it was, and I got on my mount and I dashed to it, but it must have been up for a few minutes already because just before I tried to click it, it vanished.
That is a bummer.
I doubt I will ever see that portal again. But yeah, it's little things like that. And all the exploration stuff, we've gotten so used to things appearing on our mini maps, right? For like finding every little thing, and we use add-ons to find every little secret in the world. When it comes to exploration, I don't want to use those add-ons. I just want to find stuff, by surprise.
Yeah. So, a question for you both, actually. Do you have... okay, well, yeah. Do you have the fairy music for your jukebox?
Yes.
Ro?
Not yet, but the area that you can get it from, I've been to that place long before they put the music in there. But yeah, that area was pretty cool.
Okay. So here's the thing. Not a lot of people knew about that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a place outside of the Undercity called the Whispering Woods, I think. Right? Well, anyways. So there's like the circle of mushrooms, and then they're just kind of there. Every 15 minutes or so, nether fairy dragons kind of appear, come in, and then they sing, and it's all cool and neat and stuff. And then they fly away. So this is the kind of exploration and stuff that I really enjoy. I like it. And the thing is that you wouldn't know it was there unless you were just flying around on the map trying to figure out what's going on. Because as far as I know of, you can't get that on a land mount. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So it's the whole idea of environmental things that I'm really, kind of talking about. And one of the detriments that I think Draenor has actually come across as an expansion is that it has cut down on the exploration quite a bit. John, you were talking about icons on the minimap. Now, before that, wasn't it really cool to be kind of, around, leveling, exploring or something, and then having a rare elite just kind of show up, just walking around, patrolling or whatever? You didn't really know that it was it, because an icon didn't show up. You'd have to click on it, or you have to notice that it's different than all the other mobs around you and everything. And anytime that I'm out in the world in Draenor, they're just all over the place. You just know what they are.
And they're glowing purple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, though, to play a little bit of devil's advocate right out of the gate, we did have that before. And then they made an add-on that would put an icon above it for you and play an amazing loud sound so it caught your attention. So I think there is always going to be an element of, people are going to want to make it a little bit easier and a little bit more intuitive. And so when Blizzard did start just putting the icon on there, it's like, okay, well, I can appreciate that. At least that's more intuitive than the warning I was getting before. But
and it didn't make you pee yourself because you're so scared.
Yeah, I wasn't just sleepily flying around and then all of a sudden, brrr,
you don't miss those moments.
And I use handy notes now. I didn't when I was leveling through Draenor. I made a point of not downloading it until I hit 100, and so I didn't have the location of every treasure spoiled for me or anything like that. And so, yeah, they're out there, but I also think part of the problem is, so what Ro was talking about with the mount, that's a cool thing. That's a rare thing. You get a really cool reward for it. I think what you get out in the world of Draenor is a really expected thing. It's very rare that you're running around and you find something that's just feels like a game changer and you're so proud that you went and found it. It's like, all right, I got this, garrison resources. All right, I got this, it's pet. All right, I got this, it's a dumb toy. There's really not a lot of stuff where I was like, oh man, I found the coolest thing. A lot of the treasures that I might be excited about like that, you ended up getting through doing the inquests for the dungeon dailies.
Yeah.
Is where most of those tended to be. So, yeah, they populated the world with stuff, but I don't feel like they populated the world with interesting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good point.
And then there's the Grand, where you can't get anything there.
Unless you know how to glide.
Or you have a Venus feather, and then wait 10 minutes.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like I said, it's a good start. I'm glad that they're thinking about it, that they're putting stuff like that in there, but it's not, I don't think they have found what is fun about it yet. Like, I don't think they have found a way to make it great. I think they found a way to make it passable. But I think they need to find some way to make the exploration feel a little bit more rewarding than it currently does.
I was wondering throughout most of Endgame and Warlords of Draenor, where the heck is the lore? I mean, you have an alternate version of Draenor here. You have all these locations that are, for a lot of us, very new and alien. I mean, the Grand is about the most familiar thing you have in Shadowmoon Valley, although it looks entirely different. I felt like, even though I did all this leveling and stuff, I feel like there's just so much more potential for lore, for exploring different characters, for finding out more about the history of the area, about the history of the creatures and the races that populate this world. And I feel like they could have put some more of that into the level 100 endgame. I really find a lack of lore tidbits at endgame. And I think that's one thing they could have done. If they could have put in little hidden things here and there that led to like these quest lines. And these quest lines don't necessarily have to have, ooh, an awesome sword upgrade, or hey, an epic thing for your garrison follower or whatever. If it was just a cool story, maybe it gives you a few pieces of gold for your time and stuff, I'd be happy and awesome with that. I don't just play WoW for the loot, even though Coltrane says it's all about the loot. It's not all about the loot for me. And I don't think it's all about the loot for everyone either.
Well, Ro, let me ask you this. What if they had a profession that had you going around and finding pieces of things that you can put together?
Just stop. Just stop. Nobody's going to do archaeology.
Here's the thing. I don't like what they've done with it, because if you like mouse over the item, it doesn't have a description anymore. It doesn't tell you anything about it. Or when you're making it, it doesn't tell you anything about it. You have to take the extra step and actually find it in your journal after you've made it to even read anything about it. And it's horrible.
You know how archaeology could be made more fun? If those items found in archaeology turned into quest items, which led into quests which maybe uncover a bit more about the lore of the area and stuff. That would help out archaeology a ton. It still wouldn't make archaeology awesome, but it would definitely help.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I would actually enjoy something like that versus, well, I'm going to dig over here and put this stuff together and, oh, it's just a random item. Okay.
Well, because let's be honest, like the kind of people that are going to be way into going off the beaten trail and exploring are going to be the people that get more out of a cool quest line and cool storyline than somebody who's going to min-max it and just wants to turn in the quest, just wants the experience. Like the people who absolutely need flying because they just want to go from point A to point B, fastest path, path of least resistance. I think we're more inclined to maybe want to see a cool story like that. You know, if I go off the beaten path and I find, some tooth, and then all of a sudden an NPC, Torin, comes up and is like, I'm hunting the most dangerous prey. Man, no, but something and he tells you the story of like some beast that's like just taking out all of his fellow hunters, and it leads you on this quest where they build up a story. Like you meet a NPC, get this, they have a personality, they have a story besides just like, I'm just gonna follow you for a while. Like tell something compelling, and then you fight the whatever it is, you beat it, and you get a little bit more experience or gold or whatever it is. That to me is way cooler than I found this bubble wand and now I can use a bubble wand.
I found this tooth. It came from a man named Jimmy. I've been tracking him. I will say, though, that the bubble wand is great, and I always shoot it at people in Raid.
I do too. It's actually one of my favorite toys. So I don't want to be too harsh on the bubble wand. I do like it, but yeah, I think there's so much more that they could do with it, with what their reward is. That's what I would really like to see. And that's what I think makes the world more interesting. And again, I think any time that you can put something in the game that makes players like perk up and go, this was unexpected, I need to go tell everybody about this right now, that's a cool moment, and that's a cool thing. And they could use more stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. Now, a question that I want to ask Ro, just because I'm curious. When it comes to things like the the portal to the Void Talon or the Mushroom Circle or whatever, do you prefer things that like spawn and despawn and jump around, or would you be more interested in something that's actually static?
I am a big fan of MMOs which incorporate dynamic mechanics. So I don't necessarily need to have something that's static in one place. I think there's a place. I think you can have a portion of static elements to your game world, but the more dynamic the world can be, the more random it can be for certain things to happen, or for you to discover something in one place one time and a different place another time. I am all for that, because then that adds a bit more to the mystery and surprise, right? If these things that you come across aren't in the same place all the time, well, guess what? You've kind of removed to a degree the map hunt, the map looking up, using the add-ons and the guide reading and stuff to a degree. I mean, they'll probably give you a list of possible spawn points and such, of course, but still, that random element for me is kind of fun and exciting. For others, the RNG, if they don't have a whole lot of time on their hands, might be a little frustrating because they want to do all the things and they don't want to spend time hunting down these things.
But I think the way you balance that, Ro, and this is what I do find extremely frustrating and would be my counter to that. The problem with the way Blizzard does it is that they do one thing like that. Here's our one thing that's this random cool thing. I feel like if they would set a standard of it being a bunch of things, and like, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of random things out there for you to do that you might run into. You might not ever see it, but if you run into one of these things, boy, it's going to be cool and you'll feel really cool for it. And, if you absolutely have to see it, that's when the YouTube would come in to go in and check it out. Like, I feel like if there's a lot, then there's a good chance people will run into these things more often. And they may not run into the same ones, but at least they get to see something cool. When they only put one in the game, then you get the frustration of like, ugh, why did Blizzard make something so annoying? Like, I have to get this. It's the one thing. I got to get it. I got to do it.
Right.
So I feel like the more you embrace it and the more you expand it, the easier it is to kind of train your players to accept that, like, hey, I don't have to do everything, and that's okay. It's okay if I don't do everything or don't see this one bit of content. It also makes it that much more special when you do.
Right. One of the things about the exploration rewards is garrison resources were the reward for a lot of these rare mobs and for these hidden places, right? Well, early on in the end game experience, when you're trying to get your garrison from level 2 to level 3, you find yourself kind of starved for garrison resources. So all of a sudden, people are trying to hunt down all these spots because they feel it's almost required to get all of these spots so that they have enough resources to upgrade from level 2 to level 3.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of thing that's not the kind of motivation you want to have for people to explore your world. In my opinion, that could have been done a lot better. Yeah,
and since all of my alts are currently sitting on 10,000 garrison resources, when I actually go out to level, I don't care about that stuff. It's not a big deal. Plus, all the toys are already in my toy box. The pets are already with my pets. So there's not a whole lot of extra in that sense for me to do with them. Just, go through as fast as I can. Yeah. So, I don't know. Anything else we want to add other than exploration in the Grand is absolutely horrible, and that's the one place that I really want flying?
I think Blizzard's trying to make exploration of the game world more interesting, and they definitely took it a step further. Timeless Isle was an experiment, and they took that experiment to the next level with Draenor and the way that they did something similar to Timeless Isle there. I hope that they learn some lessons from this. I hope that they have the metrics and such to see how many people actually went out and checked out all these things, and perhaps they readjust what kind of rewards they put out there, or just how much stuff that they put out there, and how they execute it. Because I'm happy that they went to that extent. Now they just kind of need to fine-tune the incentive.
I'll give you real quick a perfect example of why I don't like Nagrand's treasure.
Gliders.
And well, yes, it is gliders, but like that's the short answer. The long answer version is there is a spot, I think most people will know what this is, where it's a big stone arch over the ground, and you can look up and you can see a highlighted glowing purple spear or something up there that you know is a treasure that you can get to, or should be able to get to. And it's like, okay, I got to get up there. And so you start looking for ways to get there. Okay, can I drop onto it from above? Is there a path that I can jump up to go up this ledge to get there? Is there a way to maneuver? And I spent a long time trying to figure out, trying to make the perfect jumps to try and get up here. And okay, well, can I drop down? Is there anything like that? When I finally gave up and then eventually got handy notes and saw it, and it was like, you'll need a glider to get up here.
Yeah.
Like, that just absolutely kills it. I stayed super interested until it got to this, no, you have to actually run over to this other thing, you climb this other thing, you get the glider, and then you just kind of fly over to it.
Did you do any of the climbing stuff in Spires?
Yeah, I did.
That was fun.
So you'd rather have stuff like what you saw in Spires as opposed to Nagrand, basically.
I didn't always love it, but at least they gave me all the tools to get to it right there for the most part. I mean, at most it was like, oh, I had to walk 20 feet over here to start to get to the first part and then make my way over to it. But at least then it's like, okay, it's on me. It's a matter of my skill and my ability to follow this path. It's not, well, you just didn't think maybe I should go clear across this map and get a glider and fly over here.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's the difference to me. So you're right, there were frustrating things in Spires, but at least it was on me to figure out and to make my way through. And if I didn't like it, well, then it was still on me. Like, I didn't make the jumps in the right area, I didn't drop in the right spot. Like, WoW is not a real Twitch cover platformer type game. As soon as you try to make it one, it becomes real clear how little control you have over your character. So, yeah, I would still prefer that, though, to Nagrand.
Yeah, and even more so, if you miss with a Goblin glider, you have to run all the way back and hopefully find the right glider. I mean, if you don't know where to start, exploration isn't fun. If you don't even know where the end is, exploration isn't fun. If you have to get up and, glide and hope you get to the right spot, it's not enjoyable. Whereas, like you said, the Spires of Iraq stuff, I really enjoyed that. I mean, back in SWOTOR days, I loved all the jumping puzzles that they had and tried to figure out stuff. In fact, I have no idea what planet it was or anything like that, but there was one that there's a, like a holocron like way over here up on like the second or third floor or something. And I was able to backtrack the entire route over to like a big garbage dumpster over here where you start on. So you have to, figure out your way up there, jump here, run across a wire, go over here, jump over here, run across another wire, going back across. And I had a lot of fun with all those different kinds of puzzles. But one where it's like, Okay, here's a glider. Where do I go? Well, there's a mountain over there. Let's try that. Nope, can't make it. Okay, go all the way back up, get the glider. Well, there's one over there. Fly out. Nope, nothing over there. I mean, it's not nearly as much fun to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like Rose said, hopefully they have the data. Hopefully they see like, wow, compared to other treasures, these treasures were picked up not very often. Like, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. I hope it's lessons learned. I think Blizzard is pretty good about showing that, whether they move in the right direction or not, at least they are willing to make the changes as necessary and kind of take the data. Warlords of Draenor does feel like a reaction to lessons learned in Pandaria to some degree. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing to keep in mind, expansions are being developed at the same time. Blizzard right now is currently hard at work at whatever follows Warlords of Draenor. They're currently very busy on it, which means they have not necessarily implemented and learned everything that they're going to learn from this expansion cycle in time for that. But it at least gives them a nice push. It lets them refocus where needed and all of that. So, it always makes me curious to see where they're going to go, what lessons they're going to take. I've been interested in the expansion following Warlords since they announced Warlords, so I'm still curious what's next.
So is Metzen, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think I do remember during that press conference leaning over to you and being like, even Metzen's more interested in what's next. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Ro, anything to add?
I've pretty much said about everything I can say without talking in circles.
Which you have to do if you want to find things using a glider.
Look at Ben bringing it right back to gliders.
All right. Well, with that, guess what? We have a Celebrity Murloc Theater.
Celebrity Murloc Theater.
We got a submission of Celebrity Murloc Theater this week, everybody. Yay!
Hooray!
Now, John, why is it important that we get these submissions?
Well, it is important that we get Celebrity Murloc Theaters each week because for every week that we receive a Celebrity Murloc Theater submission, we are going to donate money to Child's Play charities at the end of the year. It's going to be a lot of money for a good cause, so make sure you send those submissions in to azerothroundtable@gmail.com.
Yes, and there's 3 types of Celebrity Murloc Theaters. Well, there's a lot of types, really, but the 3 main types that we've been receiving have been quite varied. Type 1 would be you doing an impersonation of a Murloc, like Ro is going to do now. Type 2 would be you doing an impersonation of a celebrity doing an impersonation of a Murloc, like Ro's going to do right now.
Who was that?
Someone who's not very popular in the media lately.
Oh.
You used his voice for the Fire Lord one time.
Oh.
I see.
Well, thanks for bringing the show down, man.
The third way to do it, the third version, is taking a Murloc sound that either you create or that you pull from, WoW or a soundboard or whatever, and adding it to, movie, TV show, song, whatever. And I love those types of things. I love all of them. So with that being said, I would like to thank DG from the Group Quest. DG sent in and said, "Hi, I'm DG from the Group Quest.com." Nice plug. And I figured I could put one of these together, no problem. Enjoy. So with that being said, here we go.
My guest at this time, the former Intercontinental Champion of the World, Macho Man.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Gurgle, 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 gurgle. Gurgle, gurgle, yeah. Gurgle, gurgle. Gurgle, 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 gurgle. Gurgle.
What do you mean by that?
McGurgle! McGurgle, Gene Okerlund. McGurgle, Urgle. McGurgle, 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 Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Just out of curiosity, Randy, and I certainly don't want to diminish your tremendous God-given talents, but I'm very curious. I haven't seen Elizabeth lately.
Gurgle, Miss Elizabeth McGurgle, Urgle, Gurgle, Urgle, Gene Okerlund, McGurgle, Urgle, 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 Lurgle, Urgle, Urgle, Lurgle, Lurgle, Urgle, Lurgle, Urgle, Urgle. Oh yeah!
That's great. I like that the Murloc is capable of saying
Miss Elizabeth.
Gene Okerlund, Miss Elizabeth, and oh yeah. Those are the three things he can say in English.
That was great, DG.
DG, you get insane bonus points for combining wrestling and Murlocs.
Yes.
That was pretty damn good.
Especially on WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
So
as someone who doesn't like wrestling at all, I am very happy with that. That was amazing. Absolutely love it. All right. Well, if you want to go ahead and send us to Celebrity Murloc Theater and you want to help support the kids, send it to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. With that, I and John, or John and me, or, however it's grammatically correct, would like to thank some people who gave us some 5-star reviews. So, John, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at a review that we received from Andrew Cannon. Andrew Cannon writes, his review is titled, and his review says, I keep hearing a bunch of dicks. Signed, Shenanigans.
So, thank you for that. Big Mike 1138, Big Mike's review is, Dicks. I keep hearing dicks. Awesome show. It even features the John Jagger.
That's right. He's on here.
Yep.
The next one is from Jesse Culbertson, who writes, Great show. I kept hearing a bunch of dicks.
And last but not least is Ruiner156. So good. This podcast is so funny. I've been listening to all the back episodes while I'm at work, and have found myself so addicted to listening that I listen on the way to and from work as well. Also, I think John should be required to do at least one impression every episode.
Now, I don't think that this Runer guy is really listening to your podcast. Because he didn't mention anything about hearing dicks.
We do thank everyone who heard the last episode who gave us that review. Let's keep the feed a little cleaner.
Or don't.
Yeah, either way, it's fun. Regardless,
Let's see
it's
how
fun.
vulgar we can get a review, and then Ben can just bleep us all to hell at the end.
Yes.
That'll be awesome. Oh, man. That's great. So, Ro, I do have a question for you.
Wait, before we do what I think you're about to do, because you always start it the same way, I do want to point out we received some really great listener feedback, some questions through our website, some emails. We are going to get to them. I know we always say that, but we really are. So
we ran longer than I thought.
Yeah, we went a little bit long. It's probably my fault. So we will get to you. We want you to know we did receive it. We do hear you. We are going to talk about it. It's just not going to be tonight.
Yes, very true. And I'm sorry that I didn't acknowledge it, and John had to do it again.
Now, Ben, please continue your next bit that you always start the exact same way.
So, Ro, I've got a question for you.
Yes, Ben?
I know that you've been selling a lot of pets on the auction house. Have you ever thought of selling shirts?
Well, that actually sounds like an interesting idea, but Ben, one of the problems that I have with selling shirts in World of Warcraft is that a lot of them tend to be soulbound, and the ones that aren't soulbound, well, I could only get maybe a few copper, maybe a few silver for some of the fancier color ones. There just isn't the right kind of market in Azeroth for t-shirts.
Oh, see, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. In fact, there's a t-shirt that I have that I wish my character in WoW could wear, because it is incredibly comfortable. It is very stylish. And you know what? I turn people's heads when I walk by while I wear it.
Really? Tell me more.
Well, that would be an Azeroth Roundtable t-shirt. And you can find that on /loot.com.
/loot.com?
Yep, /loot.com. If you click on the podcast section, you can find the Azeroth Roundtable t-shirt. Or if you go to AzerothRoundtable.com and look for the merchandise section, you can click on the t-shirt link. It'll take you right there. And it is really cool. It has our logo, Art, the Murloc with a mic on it, and it comes on a shirt. What more could you ask for?
Well, Ben, I already have an Azeroth Roundtable t-shirt, and I do have to admit, it is one of the most comfortable shirts I have worn.
That's
so,
awesome.
I do want more. How can I get more Azeroth Roundtable on my body?
The best way to get Azeroth Roundtable on your body, if you already have a shirt, is go to geekasylum.etsy.com. You can find yourself an Azeroth Roundtable necklace or keychain. That's right, geekasylum.etsy.com, where you can cover yourself an Azeroth Roundtable.
I forgot to unmute for my excessively vulgar comment that no one heard but me.
That's probably better that way.
Ben, you're welcome. I self-censored.
I appreciate that. Bro, thank you so much for joining us again, especially on this 2-year anniversary of the first time that you were on this show.
Yes, and thank you for having me follow up Coltrane once again.
You bet. You know what? It's what we try to do every time. We're just not that successful. How can people find you?
Oh, they can find me on the interwebs. Twitter's usually the best spot. Go to Twitter and find me at ROWOW, RHOWOW. I'm involved in a couple of podcasts as well. One is Realm Maintenance, which is a podcast that will connect you with Blizzard game podcasts of all sorts, World of Warcraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, Heroes, all that stuff. Go to realm-maintenance.com for that. And you can find my more recent venture with the Godmother of Chat. She and I do a show called Extended Maintenance, which you can find at extendedcast.net. And I talked to Alt the other day. I would really like to have an episode at some point in the future where it's the four of us talking about stuff, because I think it could be really fun.
That'd be great. I'd love it.
I love talking about stuff.
Yep, and Alt is
so
amazing. She is so awesome to listen to. I mean, I'm partial to the accent, but she really knows her stuff, too.
She does.
Like, more so than John, which, you know, that's unheard of.
Wow.
How about that? Let's slow the compliment train down a little bit.
All right. John, how can people find you?
If people want to find me, they can follow me on Twitter. I'm at John_Jagger. That's John, Jon, because people have trouble with that one. Mm-hmm. If you want to listen to me, I'm in a pretty serious relationship with this show. This is really where you're gonna... We're pretty committed. We really only see each other, so this is where I am. But you can catch me streaming occasionally on this very channel, twitch.tv/AzerothRT, or I am the video manager of our YouTube channel, youtube.com/AzerothRT. Boom! Got another plug-in for it.
So, should I stream The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Because that game is not good.
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes not good games stream really well.
Yeah, it could be fun. Probably not, though. If you want to hear more from me, I am on Twitter at AlTheMage. I also do a show called Geektopia. I do another one called Battle Pets. In fact, a new episode of Battle Pets is up where, well, there's some fun nether spawning going on. I highly recommend it.
There's one more place people can find you, though, Ben.
Really? Where's that?
If they go to rivalcastmedia.com and at the top right of the page, click on the WoW Podcaster Tournament of Epicness, you need to click on that link and you need to vote for Ben, the man who beat me, and have him go all the way. You need to do this so that Rem does more podcasts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was actually surprised by that.
People want you to go all the way, Ben.
Yes, they do.
They want you to go all the way.
Yes,
Can
they
you
do.
commit to going all the way?
Oh, yeah. If you want to hear more from the show, we are on Twitter at AzrothRT. You can listen to us anytime on Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, or on AzrothRoundtable.com. If you have any questions, comments, want to tell us why you think John hates raiding, why he doesn't like people who want to have fun, you can go ahead and email
John
those.
hate everything?
Yeah.
Here, Azeroth Roundtable. What does John actually like? Can you name one thing? No, you cannot. Good
Tassadog.
day, show.
Tassadar.
I do like Tassadar an awful lot.
But you can send those emails to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. And of course, last but not least, our intro contains music from Volatile Reaction by Kevin MacLeod. You can find more of his music at incompetech.com. What else do you like, John? Do you like pizza?
I love pizza. I'm like a Ninja Turtle.
Do you like puppies?
Yeah?
All right. So you like Tassadar, pizza, and puppies. Would you
And
eat...
Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man. Would you eat pizza with Spider-Man and a puppy named Tassadar?
Like, they're joining me?
Yeah.
I don't know how Tassadar eats, because he's got a thing over
Well, no,
his
it's a
mouth.
puppy
A
named
puppy
Tassadar.
named Tassadar.
Oh, a puppy named Tassadar. Yeah, totally.
Okay,
That'd
cool.
be
All right. Well, good.
I'd call him Tassadog.
Tassadog.
And there we go. We are done recording. Woo, go us.